called Not Quite Dateable. I'm staying away from alcohol, trying to curb my bad habits, when a very cute swing dance teacher hands me a Heineken at a party in Oakland. "Would you like a cold beer?" he asks. "Sure," I say. "A Heineken sounds great." I've been relatively clean since moving from the East Bay into a sober living house near City College, except for a few minor indulgences. A beer at Renaissance Fair with my sister, the remnants of the coating cough syrup my sister's father-in-law boldly left on the counter, an overpriced glass of red wine I purchased at some event I attended at Fort Mason, the Klonopin I'd stolen from my mother's purse on a visit to see if I still could. I'd put the Klonopin pills I'd stolen back. Then I'd taken them out again. Then I had ground them up into a fine yellow powder and snorted them in the bathroom of my sober living house. When I told my mother, she told me we better keep it to ourselves so I didn't get kicked out of another home. "You confessed to me," she said. "That's enough." At the party, a shindig for my mom's friends who own the ballroom dance place where Autumn works, I soon polish off all of the Heineken in the wet bar. I need more. I flirt the caterer into grabbing some warm beers out of the company truck. He grins, obliges, and I knock back a couple warm ones behind my mom's back. Soon I am the life of the party. I hold the undivided attention of all the cute guys in attendance. A small group has congregated in the upstairs bathroom. Curious about why one would pierce their tongue, they are watching me untwist the ball on one end of a steel barbell, their eyes locked on my tongue in the mirror we are all looking into, when the entire barbell slips out of my tongue and drops into the same drain. "Crap," I mumble. "The fuck." One of the guys, a handsome Latino dude with long black hair, commissions a third party to come and take a look. It is determined that the sink will have to be dismantled in order to retrieve the last component of my stainless steel barbell. The husband of the hostess comes to my aid equipped with a wrench. He gets to work, and about a half an hour later, my tongue is safely stabbed through with metal again, and I am apologizing profusely while trying to avoid my red face in the mirror. Then suddenly I'm outside the house on a long suburban street, smoking very stinky pot with a dance teacher who has a soul patch. Oh, I lost my voice, sorry, that angle was not doing it for me. I don't even like pot. The dance teacher is so thin, I'm positive he will whisk down the cul-de-sac if I so much as blow on him. The world starts spinning. What is in this pot? Did the wispy dance teacher lace it with something else? I look at his Count Dracula face and worry about his motives. I thank him, wave goodbye, and seek safe refuge in the bathroom, where I pass out. What seems like hours later, I hear a voice talking to my mother outside the bathroom door. I have no car. She is my ride home. "She's been in there for a long time," says a deep male voice. My mom responds, "Oh." That one word falls slowly through the air like a deflated balloon. As I lay at the foot of the toilet, I cringe. The door handle jiggles and I reach up to unlock it. She helps me get up. I can't even walk properly. She puts my arm around her shoulder and helps me to her red Toyota Camry. "I think I have alcohol poisoning," I mumble from the floor of the back seat where I have rolled since the car started up. Busy having heated conversations on her cell phone with my father and the staff at the sober living house I'm about to be kicked out of, she ignores me. She soon decides that the best solution is to drop me off at an overnight detox center in the Tenderloin district of San Francisco to sleep on mattresses with homeless junkies. She checks me in, and I go lay down with all the other bums on the first floor mattresses. The next day, while sitting on a couch upstairs, an older guy who looks a bit like Robert Redford slips me a crumpled piece of newspaper. I open it and find a fat yellow Klonopin and a potency equivalent to 4 of my mom's first pills. He tells me where to go down the street to buy more. While I linger in detox for 3 days, trying to figure out how to get more Klonopin, my mom, worried I'll lose my call center job, calls the boss to tell him I have food poisoning, that this is the reason I didn't show up for the past few days. Surprisingly, instead of firing me, they tell her to tell me to come in when I feel better. I call a friend from the last rehab I attended 3 months ago, who offers to let me stay at her house in West Oakland. I take the BART from Oakland to San Francisco for a week, waiting for my paycheck so I can find a new place to live. One day, while answering phones at the call center, a familiar voice asks for me. "Autumn?" I ask. "Yeah, it's me," says the Heineken handy dance teacher in a sing-song voice. "Would you, like to go on a date with me?" I sit at my desk quietly, trying to look cool, lest my call center coworkers swivel their heads and observe my confusion. Really, I think to myself, after the tongue ring and the drinking of all the beers and the passing out, he's asking me on a date? I am too too shocked to wonder at the implications of such a thing. Autumn is quite good looking. Sure, I say. Autumn takes me to his favorite Indian food restaurant, and we walk around outside on the pier in downtown Sausalito. We end up on a sailboat, watching Donnie Darko on a tiny TV. We pretty much have to lie on top of each other to fit on the little bench across from the television, and you can barely see the screen. Why a sailboat, I ask, as I try to find a not awkward position to sit in. Do you know how cheap it is to dock here? My rent is like $500 a month, he says. How much was the boat, I ask. A couple hundred, he says. Some guy on Craigslist was selling it because it didn't sail anymore. Something's wrong with it. His bed doubles as a laundry hamper. When the movie is through, he pushes all of his clothes, clean, he says, aside, and we climb in. Later, I limp across the gravel parking lot to use the public bathroom, having forgotten my shoes in his boat. There isn't a bathroom on the boat itself, and I can't pee directly into the marina water like he so shamelessly does. I don't pee near anyone's boat who actually lives on it, he explains to me as he follows behind me. How do you shower, I ask. I use the bathroom sink, he says. When we return to his houseboat later that week, Autumn pulls out his journal and a guitar, and he serenades me, but not before showing me pages of poetry written about girls who have long since evaporated. I have the sinking feeling that the poems are interchangeable carbon copies, applicable to whatever girl is currently sitting on his boat. It is painful to watch his face contort as a pleading wail slips from his mouth. I do my best to distract him by commenting on his lost loves. Oh, you must have really liked that one a lot. Our dating continues. In the meantime, I'm trying to find a place to live and staying in a piss-in-the-sink hotel in the Tenderloin of San Francisco. I have a top-floor bedroom, thanks to the owner of the hotel, a knife under my pillow, a green rotary phone, and a calling card so that I can drunk down my ex-boyfriends to tell them how good I am doing. As I select Smirnoff Ace I purchase at the liquor store across the street and watch all the MTV I want. I'm dating a real boy, I tell them, meaning not an alcoholic or a junkie. He asked me out. Autumn and I continue to spend time together, and I think he is starting to realize that I am not a normal girl, but I can't be sure. There were times in the first days we were dating that I was glad to sleep on his boat simply because I was temporarily homeless for the night, but we've evaded discussing intimate details of my personal life so far. I feel good that I am finally doing what grown-ups do, dating without rushing into a long-term relationship. On first sight. Sorry, that wasn't seamless. One night, before we go down into his boat, Autumn pulls me aside out under the stars. I need to talk to you, he says. He has a different pained look on his face, like he has found a stray kitten he can't adopt but is going to give a tiny bowl of milk to. He's not going to ask me to be his girlfriend, is he? I think, panicking. I thought this arrangement was going very well. I slowly creep backwards. Can we just be friends? He asked me in a pleading voice, as if he is afraid I might lose control upon hearing the words and plunge myself into the marina to drown. I exhale. Aren't we? I ask. He breathes out so much air, I'm sure he was about to pass out. Thank goodness, he says. I wasn't sure how you were going to take it. It's totally fine, I say. Better than fine, I think. Though the sex was all right, good even, the serenading had felt a little bit like being raped. Frankly, I'm relieved I will not be making it into his poetry book as girl number 64.